Hello, Stalkers. I am back after the screening of Kaneto Shindo's ONIBABA at the Rubin Museum as part of their every Friday night cabaret cinema series, which never let you down. I think I let you down before, though. I think I was calling Kaneto Shindo. I think I was referring to him as Shinoda, confusing him with Masahiro Shinoda, who was the director of Pale Flower and Double Suicide. And there's a really good reason that I made that mistake before. I'm an idiot, so in case you haven't figured that out yet, I'm spelling it out for you. Not the brightest man on the planet right now. But anyway, to ONIBABA, which translates loosely as demon hag. So you know what you're getting into with this movie right away. I'd seen it before a very long time ago. A few things that I've forgotten about it is how, what's the word I'm looking for? Propulsive the score is. The music's very integral to the film, to the emotions of the film, to the horrific elements of the movie, to the humanistic elements of the movie. It begins as sort of a combination of traditional martial Japanese music mixed with some kind of jazz inflections, which is really kind of weird. I did not remember that from my earlier viewing. And then it moves on to kind of a strictly martial, almost like a rhythm, drum only score, and it only comes into the film in specific scenes where you're really where he really wants to enhance the booga booga, if you know what I mean. And normally I don't like to have music step into a movie to push my buttons extra further. You know, the narrator should be able to do that for you, but it's really wildly effective in this movie. Also of note is he wanted to film the movie. The film is based on a Japanese fable about a mask and its powers, its demonic powers perhaps, and how it's used for ill and the consequences of it. It's almost like a Japanese O. Henry story. You kind of see where it's going, but you can't take your eyes off the screen. And he wanted to film this movie in what's called Suzuki, which is Japanese tall grass, usually found by riverbeds. And he found a location, he stuck to it. He only shot the movie on one location, and you can see why he employed this location, why he wanted this tall grass, because anything can be hiding in it, anything can be moving in it. It gives you a sense of unease throughout the entire film. That mounts the suspense, the anticipation. Indeed, one of the characters in the movie, as they're marching through it, as a wandering samurai wearing a type of mask shows up and demands directions through the tall grass, and he even says, any form of demon or snake could be hiding in here, and indeed, lots of demons and snakes are hiding in that grass, and you find that out over the course of the film. And that ultimately, I think, is what Shinoda that was the point of the film, I think, is the question that he's asking, or maybe even the answer that he's giving, too, is what's the difference between demon and human? Is there a difference between demon and human? This was made in the wake of Hiroshima, and Shinoda was from Hiroshima, so that not only the war and not only the ravages of that all of Japan experienced, but he was specifically from the spot where the first atomic bomb was dropped. So a lot of his films feature metaphors of Hiroshima, and this is no different. There's specifically some body horror in the film that recalls the real-life body horror that was visited on the people of Hiroshima. So it can be viewed on a couple of levels. If you want to view it as just kind of a very effective horror story, a very simple, effective horror story, you can definitely enjoy it on that level. And if you want to start reading into it, which anybody who was working in the post-war era, especially the filmmakers coming out of Japan, working in Japan, there is always going to be some reference to the war, specifically a reference to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's in there somewhere, even if it's not overt, even if it's not Godzilla, it's in there somewhere. So it was really interesting to see that theme woven into this film without removing any of the effectiveness of its simplicity as a nightmare fable. Very recommended. Very recommended that you go to the Rubin Museum to check out the Cabaret Cinema series. Next week they have Tarkovsky's Nostalgia, one of his later films. One of his leading, it might have been his last film actually, I think. It was that or Stalker, I don't know. I'll go to Wikipedia and find out. What am I? And the following week they have, that's the 16th, they're going to have Nostalgia. And the following week on the 23rd, they're going to have James Whale's Showboat. If you haven't been to the Rubin yet, I highly recommend it. It's a really good experience. It's really fun. It's a great movie crowd. They have great guest speakers before each movie. It's really cheap to get in. And yeah. Now, as much as I love to have New York City as my backdrop for these things, I've just suddenly remembered something. It's winter, and it's 26 friggin' degrees, so I'm gonna duck inside to the nearest warm bar. But I will be back next week. I have no idea what's next on my movie schedule, but I'll be checking back in with you to recommend something, to intro it, and to comment on it afterwards. But anyway, this is Joseph Hall signing out for now because it's just too goddamn cold. I will be back. In the meantime, follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on nitratestock.tv on YouTube. Please visit my site at nitratestock.net. Check the interactive calendar so you can keep up on everything that's going on in the repertory film circuit in New York City. And I guess that's about it for now. But as I always close, stick with me, stockers.